Hello out there in YouTube world, it is me, Simply Sue, and as promised before, I said that I would discuss this house and its inhabitants, and I'm not talking about the human ones. We live in a haunted house, yes. Alright, first I'm going to describe my kids. I won't go into myself so much because I don't want to scare anybody away yet. But my oldest son, Bud, is 29, and he can actually see things from the other side. He also can astral travel, which means one example was, it was like May, like 3 or 4 years ago, or no, March 3 or 4 years ago. It was St. Patrick's Day, and he claimed that he had gotten up out of bed, went into the bathroom, and heard this high-pitched sound in his head. He said it drove him nuts. And he said he went back to bed, looked down and saw somebody laying in his bed, and he was horrified. Like, what guy is in my bed? He looked over and saw himself, and he said he thought he was dead. It flipped him out, and the next thing he knew, he was back in his body. So I guess this has happened a couple times. And my son Chris, he's 27, and he has seen things, and he feels things. Like, he can feel if something's not right in the room, and he gets that from me. And then there's my son Seth, who is 17, and he used to see things when he was younger. He kind of blocks it out now. He still can do it. He also can remote view. That he also got from me. And that means that if, like, say you have a missing dog, we could both focus on it, and we could tell you, we could see the area that the dog was in, basically through, like, the dog's eyes. Or a missing person, things like that. Then there's my youngest daughter, Dakota. She sees things. I don't know if she hears them or not. I do know that she sees them. And, well, then we have Roger, who's not blood related, and he has seen things in this house. But I think that this house is really bizarre. So the chances of anybody seeing anything is absolutely fabulous. So that's a little bit of their background. My background's a little bit more bizarre. When I was younger, I could see things, but I try not to see them. I see them more when your eyes are like unfocused in the morning when I first wake up. That's when I'm most apt to see things. And I also remote view, and that means, well, I don't know. I can, like I said earlier, I can find missing things, tell you where they're at, things like that. And then there's one more thing that I have that I don't usually discuss. This happened, I found out a month before I turned 40, back a few years ago. I wish I could say yesterday, but I won't lie. I started hearing things from the other side. So I communicate for people, but when we're there, that has nothing to do with this house. None of us knew we had any of this, except for, well, myself when I was younger and I saw stuff. None of us knew we had any of this when we moved into the house in 2002. And it started off in, well, let me just say, I have a journal here that I started doing back 2003, and I've got a sneeze. Sorry about that. I've got these colds going on. Anyway, back in 2003, I was down here, and my friend was here visiting, and we heard a big, huge bang, like somebody had knocked a speaker over or tipped a dresser over from upstairs. And they said, my God, what was that? So I ran upstairs. Nobody was here. Nothing was displaced. They said, well, maybe it's ice falling off your house. I said, this is May. There's no ice. We'll go outside and check anyway. So I did. There was nothing. And that was just one little incident. Around the same time, I was getting ready to DJ up at the high school, at the local school, for a dance. And there was like this big bang, and like bang, 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 bang. Like somebody was opening and closing a door like this really fast. And I said to my oldest son, I said, who's here? We gotta go. I don't want any company. We've got to get up to the school. And he says, Mom, nobody's here. He goes, it was a cellar door. I said, well, who's stuck in a cellar? Now, mind you, the dogs are barking. At the time, I had a German Shepherd that was Roger's, and I had a little Boston Terrier, and they were both standing at the door barking, going nuts. And he says, nobody's there. And I said, oh, no. So I went to the cellar door, and I opened it up, and I snapped a couple pictures, and I yelled down, and nobody responded back. And, yeah, it was the ghost. Let's see, as I'm going back through my pages here. Seth was around the age of 6, and he was supposedly holding a conversation with somebody that wasn't there. And he said that there was ghosts upstairs in his room, and that there was a little girl that had come up and kind of like floated up, because he was on what would be like a top bunk. It was a high bed, but it wasn't actually a bunk bed. And he said that she came right up and looked down at him, and there was a man standing next to her. I wrote all this down back then, and I just found out last year that there was a guy that had killed himself that lived here. There was a man and his wife and their daughter. Now, they had gotten married. A couple years later, they had a daughter. She ended up dying at the age of 4 from appendicitis. The man ended up dying like 18 or 19 years later. He apparently had slit his own throat. I had found this out from somebody that was coming to buy some shelving units from my store that I was selling. And he come to pick him up, and he said, I live 2 doors down. And I remember the story of the guy that killed himself upstairs. And I was like, that's who my ghost is. So I did some research, and in the next video, I will post a picture of what he looks like, and the daughter, and the wife. And we've had quite a lot of activity here. That's just starters. Like I said, you know, this is like a journal that's just like filled with different things. I'll give you a quick sneak peek. Actually, I do believe that the picture's right in here. This is the guy that resides in my house. His name is Francis. He apparently killed himself upstairs. And I figured, it's right in this book. I may as well show you, right? I'll make sure that the next time around I'll show you a picture of the daughter that had died too. But there was also another family that lived here after, a few families, and another guy died here. And yeah, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of stories that I could go on. I could probably just do a channel all about this house on its own. Actually, right over here to my right is where the guy used to sleep. I guess he had had cancer or something before he died, when he died. And long stories, but this house was built sometime between 1870, 1880, and I started to get stuff on the deeds and things. I have a lot of that I have to look into, and I will keep you updated on that. If you're finding this story too bizarre and you don't want to hear about it, let me know. If you like the stuff that I'm talking about too, please feel free to go down below and leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel, anything you like. And if you really want to know what it sounds like, the ghosts that live in this house, especially this guy, I have EVPs from here on this house. But you're going to have to go under my other YouTube channel. It's under Timeless Tunes. And what it is it's my DJ page. Now there's another Timeless Tunes, it's like a karaoke thing, that's not us. But if you type in something like Autumn Adventure Weekend, you'll see one of my videos from DJing and stuff. And if you click on that, the Timeless Tunes link in the different videos, you'll find 2 different videos that I have done just on EVPs here in this house. So I figured I would keep your interest peaked by doing a strange little video like this every so often. And if you want to know more, like I said, go on down below. In the next video, I'll get back to you on the normal, typical things and maybe throw in another ghost story. Thanks for watching.